Hello everyone, I hope you all are fit and healthy. So, here I am Miss Pratiksha Singh. Welcome to our third lecture of Physics Paper 1, that is Mechanics and Thermodynamics. So, in previous lectures, that is lecture number 1 and lecture number 2, we have seen the topics regarding to compound pendulum, like introduction to compound pendulum, then period of oscillation, an expression of period of oscillation of the compound pendulum, what is the formula to calculate the period of oscillation. Then in second lecture we have seen reversible compound pendulum, what is reversible compound pendulum, then expression and experimental setup as well as procedure of that Ketter's reversible pendulum. Then also we have seen Bessel's formula for calculation of acceleration due to gravity by using Ketter's reversible pendulum. So this much topics we have covered in lecture number 1 and lecture number 2. Now this is our last lecture of lesson 1, that is compound pendulum, and in this lecture we are going to see what is the difference between simple pendulum and compound pendulum. You all know that there are two types of pendulum, that is simple pendulum and compound pendulum. So in this lecture we are going to see what is the difference between simple pendulum and compound pendulum, and after that we will see some objectives, sample objectives that must will help you while preparing physics paper 1 first lesson at the time of your exams. So let us begin. Now first we will see what actually pendulum is. You all know that pendulum is consist of an object which is suspended along an axis, and so that it is able to move back and forth easily. Yes, what is pendulum? It consists of a bob, okay, or any object which is tied at the end of that string, and it will move back and forth easily. Yes, what is motion of that bob is back and forth. So there are two types of pendulum, that is simple pendulum and compound pendulum. So here we will see what is the difference between simple pendulum and compound pendulum. I have here mentioned two major differences. So let us see what are these two major differences. First one is the oscillating mass has dimensions much smaller than distance between axis of suspension and center of gravity. So what is first point? It says dimensions of the oscillating mass. What is oscillating mass? In simple pendulum, oscillating mass is a bob which is tied at the end of the string. Okay, so dimensions of that bob. So what will be the dimensions of that bob? Dimensions means like volume, then radius. As it is spherical in shape, then radius of that bob will be dimension. So that dimensions are much smaller than distance between axis of suspension and center of gravity. Okay, what is axis of suspension? Suspension means the point where that simple pendulum is fixed, okay, and around which axis that pendulum is revolving, that is axis of suspension. And center of gravity means whole mass of the body is concentrated at one point, that is center of gravity. So these two points, axis of suspension and center of gravity, distance between these two is very much larger as compared to that dimension of that oscillating mass or dimension of that bob. Okay, this was about simple pendulum, but in compound pendulum this comparison is nearly equal. Okay, means the oscillating mass has dimensions comparable to the distance between the axis of suspension and the center of gravity. Means this comparison is nearly equal. Dimension of that oscillating mass, whatever will be the shape of that compound pendulum, it may be cylindrical in shape, it may be in spherical in shape, or it may, or sometime there is no definite shape of the compound pendulum, it may be a rigid body, any rigid body. So dimensions of that rigid body is nearly equal to the distance between the axis of suspension and center of gravity. Okay, so I hope you must understand what is the first point. First point says the oscillating mass has dimensions much smaller than distance between axis of suspension and center of gravity. But in compound pendulum, oscillating mass has dimensions comparable, or we can say nearly equal to the distance between axis of suspension and center of gravity. Okay, so this was first point. Now see what is second point. Second point says in simple pendulum, the only physical property that affects its period is its length. Okay, means period of oscillation of that simple pendulum is affected by only one factor. So what is that only one factor? It is length. Length of that simple pendulum or length of that string is the only one factor which affects the period of oscillation of that simple pendulum. So how it affects? If length of that string is larger, okay, means length of that simple pendulum is larger, then period of oscillation will also be larger, because time required to complete one revolution will be larger because of length of the string is also larger, right? And if length of that simple pendulum is smaller, then period of oscillation will also be smaller, because time required to complete one revolution is also smaller, right? So like this, the length is the only one factor which affects period of oscillation of that simple pendulum. Okay, and what about mass of the object? Mass of that bob, it does not affect anything to the period of oscillation, means there is no role of the mass of that object while determining the period of oscillation of that simple pendulum. Okay, so you must get that only one factor which affects the simple pendulum, that is the length of the string. Now what about compound pendulum? Here there are two factors which affects the period of oscillation. So which two factors? The object's mass and how that mass is distributed both play a role in determining the period of oscillation. Yes, so the two factors which affects the period of oscillation are object's mass and how that mass is distributed over that object. Yes, mass of the object, if mass is larger, mass of that compound pendulum is larger, then it will take more time to complete one revolution. Okay, and if mass is smaller, then it will take less time to complete one revolution. So like this, mass of that object plays very much important role while determining the period of oscillation. And how that mass is distributed over the body. Yes, because here the shape of the body will be anything. It may be cylindrical, it may be spherical, or it may be any rigid body which will have indefinite shape, right? So how the mass of that body is distributed, that also plays very much important role while determining the period of oscillation. Okay, so I hope you must get these 2 points. What is the common difference between simple pendulum and compound pendulum? Yes, revise it once again. First point says the oscillating mass has dimensions much smaller than the distance between axis of suspension and center of gravity. And in compound pendulum, oscillating mass has dimensions comparable to the distance between axis of suspension and center of gravity. And what second point says? It is about factors affecting the period of oscillation. So in simple pendulum, only the physical property that affects its period is length of that simple pendulum, and mass does not affect the period of oscillation. And in compound pendulum, there are two factors, that is the object's mass and how that mass is distributed. These both are played very much important role while determining the period of oscillation. Okay, so I hope you must get this point. Now see some sample objectives. These objectives will help you while preparing your examinations. Okay, so see what is first question. The question says Ketter's pendulum is a type of dash pendulum. So which type of Ketter's pendulum is? And options are A. Reversible, B. Irreversible, C. Simple, and D. None of them. So if you see, Ketter's pendulum is a reversible pendulum, means we revert it and while performing the experiment. Okay, so it is a reversible pendulum. So the correct option is reversible pendulum. It is a type of reversible pendulum. Now see what is second question. It is time period of pendulum is inversely proportional to what? Time period of pendulum or period of oscillation of the pendulum is inversely proportional to, and options are gravitational acceleration, length of the string, radius of gyration, and D, mass of the bob. So here if you remind the formula of calculating the time period of oscillation of the pendulum, then formula is generally T is equal to 2 pi under root L upon G. Okay, this is general formula, and there is slight changes for a compound pendulum. Okay, so formula is T is equal to 2 pi under root L upon G. So if you see proportionality, then time period is directly proportional to length. As length is in numerator, then it is directly proportional to square root of length. And as gravitational acceleration is at denominator, then time period is inversely proportional to under root G. Okay, so that means time period of oscillation of that pendulum is inversely proportional to gravitational acceleration, means option A is the correct answer. See third question. Ketter's pendulum is used for determination of. If you see second lecture, then you will get the answer of this question. Ketter's pendulum is used for determination of what? What is the use of Ketter's pendulum? What we found while performing the experiment of that Ketter's pendulum, and what we get from that experiment. So we get is, so here are options: value of G, value of T, value of K, or value of L. What is G? G is gravitational acceleration or acceleration due to gravity. T is period of oscillation. K is the radius of gyration, and L is the length of pendulum. So if you go to lecture number 2, you will get the correct answer, that is value of G. Yes, by using Bessel's formula and after performing the Ketter's pendulum, we will get accurate value of G, that is acceleration due to gravity. So Ketter's pendulum is used for determination of value of G. So A is the correct option, that is acceleration due to gravity. Now see fourth and last question, that is compound pendulum is also known as. What is another name of compound pendulum? So see options. First is simple pendulum, second is physical pendulum, third is irreversible pendulum, and fourth is all of them. So compound pendulum is obviously it is not a simple pendulum because these are two different types of pendulum. Yes, so compound pendulum is obviously not a simple pendulum. And second, physical pendulum. Yes, there is another name of the compound pendulum is physical pendulum. And fourth, irreversible. No, compound pendulum is sometime it is reversible pendulum. So it is not a irreversible pendulum, and all of them is also not the correct option. So correct option is second. Compound pendulum is also known as physical pendulum, right? The another name of compound pendulum is physical pendulum. Okay, so I hope you must get all points regarding to our lesson number 1, compound pendulum. So the topics we have been covered are introduction to compound pendulum, then expression for period of oscillation, reversible compound pendulum, Ketter's reversible pendulum, experimental setup procedure, formula of Ketter's reversible pendulum, then how we can calculate the value of G, that also we have been seen. Then we have seen what actually the term radius of gyration, and in today's lecture we have seen what is the difference between simple pendulum and compound pendulum, and also we have seen some objectives which will help you while preparing for your exams. Okay, so write down topic in your notebook, then solve these sample objectives, and all the best. We will again meet in next video with new lesson. Okay, till then, thank you and bye bye.